HTF Bets. My name is Andrew Gregg, and on today's episode, we see the return of our very own Mel Kiper III as he previews his top 10 picks in this year's NFL Draft. Then we'll move on to our NBA award predictions, our final thoughts on those, and then we finish off with obviously Tyler's favorite segment, so don't go anywhere because HTF Bets starts right after this. We are back. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Obviously, to my left, I have Diego Ortiz. To my right, I have Nick Cohen, who, yes. Oh my gosh, Nick Cohen to my right. What are we doing?
I know, it feels so
feels like
weird.
An alternate universe almost.
It does, yes.
How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Are you excited? Are you guys excited to talk about the NFL Draft? I mean, it's coming up.
Most definitely.
Oh man. Well, obviously, I mentioned in the intro that we have Mel Kiper III, as we like to call him, or as others like to call him, Tyler Brownrigg, over at the green screen. Tyler, how are you doing? And give us the first couple picks in your NFL Draft.
I'm doing fantastic, and I will jump right into it. So, a lot of the same from last time we did this. To start at number 1, Cam Ward to Tennessee. When I made this graphic last night, DraftKings had him at minus 2,000 to go number 1 overall. His odds have since plummeted to minus 5,000, and I believe that will continue to happen as we get closer and closer to the draft. He had over 4,000 passing yards with Miami, 88.7 QBR, which was second in the nation last season. Just overall, a great, efficient quarterback last year. Had really good accuracy, really good pocket presence, doesn't turn the ball over. Just really, he checks all the boxes for what you look for in a great quarterback prospect. Is he the best number 1 overall guy, maybe? Maybe not. This is obviously a weaker quarterback class than years we've seen in past, especially last year with Caleb, right? But overall, I think Cam Ward will be a great fit in Tennessee, and it will be a good pick. Moving on now to number 2, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Abdul Carter. A bit different circumstances now, because last time I said Abdul Carter, it was because they might lose Myles Garrett, but obviously that is not the case anymore. He is at minus 220 to go number 2 overall. He had 12 sacks last year with the Nittany Lions and 2 forced fumbles. He is just an elite pass rusher. He has a great case to go number 1 overall. If the Titans just didn't desperately need a quarterback, they obviously need edge rusher too, and he'd be great. But pairing him up now with Myles Garrett, that could be one of the best D-lines for years to come in Cleveland. Moving on to the first change in my mock draft, I have the New York Giants selecting Travis Hunter, number 3, as minus 180 odds to go 3rd overall. They have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston now in their QB room. That makes me think they don't want a quarterback this year. They'd rather wait for better guys like maybe Arch Manning next year just to see what can happen. And I think they're fine sticking with these veterans. And pairing Travis Hunter up with Malik Neighbors would be outstanding for their offense and a huge benefit to their defense. Obviously, he won the Biletnikoff. He won the Heisman last year. Over 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. 9 interceptions in his career. He is a lockdown corner and a number 1 receiver. He can play 2 ways in the NFL. He's adamant about it, and so am I. So I had Travis Hunter going 4 last time. Now I have New England. This was a bit interesting. I was tempted to have it be Mason Graham, who you see there at 5, but I'm going with Will Campbell because if I am Mike Vrabel, I want to protect my young quarterback in Drake May, and Will Campbell is a great way. Keeping him upright, obviously, receiver was another temptation, but I don't think McMillan is really a good pick here at number 4. Campbell allowed 0 sacks this season with LSU, and he has started every game in his college career ever since he walked in the door at LSU. Now, the big thing is he could get pushed into guard with his length, especially he has shorter arms for a tackle than you would like, but he's just such a great all-around pass protector and run blocker. Protecting his blind side for Drake May is just a need that you need to address. You want to protect your quarterback. We always see this with rookie quarterbacks. You've seen it happen to Tua. We've seen it happen with Caleb. They're getting beat up, and that can hurt them long term. So getting a guy who can protect him, keep him upright, all the better. And finally, going number 5 overall, I have Mason Graham. I am a big Mason Graham fan. I love him. He, to me, might be the best defensive player in this draft over Abdul Carter, I would say. He is the best pure run defender in the draft, and he is still a great pass rusher. Obviously, he doesn't have the numbers, but he absorbs double teams, and he gets through them well. He's at minus 150 to go number 5 overall. This is his most likely landing spot here with Jacksonville. But Mason Graham, I love him. You cannot go wrong, any team taking him. But that is it for the top 5. I'll throw it back to you guys. What do you think of the picks so far?
Man, I mean, as our very own Mel Kiper, I think you did a great job breaking that down, and I can't disagree with a ton of what you're saying. I want to start at the top. Obviously, Cam Ward sitting at minus 2,000 according to DraftKings to take the number 1 overall selection. I think that just in general, he made the case for himself all season long, and it just makes a lot of sense that he would be the quarterback 1. You mentioned the fact that his quarterback QBR was 88.7, one of the best, the second best in the nation this season. He had over 4,000 passing yards. Obviously, he was able to break the all-time passing touchdown record in NCAA history in that last game. It was a little bit of a controversy. He sits out the second half, but I don't think that the Titans are too keen on making that any bigger of a deal than it has to be. Obviously, Cam Ward is one of the best players in this draft, not only on offense, but just overall. And I think that as an overall prospect, he could be one of the best players to come out of this draft. So taking him at number 1 overall, I just think it's a good selection. And obviously, maybe a little bit of bias because of the fact that I am from Miami and I've watched them all season long. But I have seen them all season long, and I know how good Cam Ward is. That defense was terrible all season long. The only reason that Miami was over 500, in my opinion, is because of Cam Ward. So I like the selection personally. Thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. And I think one thing that we're seeing now with the NFL, kind of the direction that the draft is heading towards, is a lot of these top quarterbacks are the ones that are playing 5 years in college now. They're getting a lot more experience. Obviously, we're not going to see as much guys like Anthony Richardson, who only started about 13 games in college. We're going to see a lot more guys with more experience. I think he's going to be able to come right in and fit his way into that Tennessee Titans offense. And if they can find him a number 1 target as well in this draft, I mean, look out for the Titans. I think that they could develop really quickly here.
The only counter to it really quickly that I would have is that the Titans don't have many weapons on that offense. You look at the Miami offense, and he has 3 players that he was throwing to that are 3 receivers that are going to be getting drafted, including that tight end. The Titans don't really have
What
that.
are your thoughts on those receivers? Mainly Xavier Restrepo. I know that you had something to say about him last time. So maybe didn't have the greatest weapons in the world.
You know, he's a great slot guy. He is not. He doesn't have amazing burst off the line. That's all I'll say. Did not test very well as pro day. But besides the point, the tight end Elijah Arroyo, he was really good, and they have another receiver who is likely going to get drafted later in the draft. But the Titans don't have many weapons. Calvin Ridley, I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you make some interesting points. I will always stick up for my guy Xavier Restrepo.
He's a good guy, good receiver.
Insane.
Just
Okay,
fast one.
whatever. I want to move on to the fact that I know you have maybe a disagreement with the 3rd overall pick. The New York Giants are selecting. Who do you think that they're going to go with?
Yeah, so obviously Tyler has them picking Travis Hunter. In my opinion, though, I think the Giants need to lean towards taking Shedeur Sanders. I think that's the one big name that we've kind of left out from this graphic. Shedeur Sanders is, he has so much talent. I mean, really. I mean, the arm talent is there. He has great leadership skills. I think the Giants, I know that they obviously have Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, but I mean, we still have to go through training camp with these guys. And there's definitely a scenario in which I can see Jameis Winston getting cut, because that was probably what would happen. And I think Shedeur Sanders, if he's on a team with Russell Wilson, I think with Malik Neighbors as well, I think that there's a chance that we see the team kind of rallying around Shedeur Sanders. I think he has great leadership skills, kind of like Russell Wilson does. And I think it just makes sense, too. I mean, even if he just backs up Russell Wilson for a year, I think he'd be, in good position to have a great career in the NFL.
And you look at a Russell Wilson who's obviously aging, hasn't had his best football is probably behind him. You maybe want to draft that backup guy, somebody who can come in and replace him. Any thoughts on Shedeur Sanders maybe going to the Giants?
I do think the Giants have bigger needs, especially at corner and receiver. That's why I do like the Travis Hunter pick. But I can't disagree with the fact that Shedeur and Russ are fairly similar players. And of the teams that need quarterback, I think this would be the best fit for him, just so he could sit for an entire year and learn behind Russ. But I think they have bigger needs.
And then just highlighting the rest of just not the quarterbacks, but obviously Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, and Mason Graham are great players, and any of them can go in the top 5, if not in the top 3. So, Tyler, we want to throw it back to you. Maybe give us the rest of your top 10.
So yes, to round out the top 10, the second half, I have Tatoria McMillan going number 6 overall to the Raiders. Geno Smith is now their quarterback, and obviously that's Pete Carroll's guy. Ashton Genty has been gotten a lot of hype to go here at 6. I think Tet makes much more sense. Get another receiver, improve your passing game. Geno had career years under Pete Carroll in Seattle. He'll have Brock Bowers and McMillan to throw to. I think that'll be a great pairing. He has an elite catch radius. The big thing is he needs to be a bit of a better separator in single coverage. We saw an improvement this year from his 2023 season, but that is the big area he needs to improve. Going on to the New York Jets. This is a weird pick. It's kind of like, I don't really know. They don't have any glaring needs outside of really quarterback offensively, and then I didn't feel comfortable taking any of the defensive players here at 7. But our man Membu, I think, is a very good pick on their offensive line just to boost it all. Fields, obviously, he's a guy that holds on to the ball, takes quite a bit of sacks. Medbu, great athlete. He has a very balanced stance. He's very quick with his feet. He had a breakout year this year with Mizzou. PPF, his grade shot up 20 points from his past 2 seasons starting. So I think Membu would just be a great way to solidify that O-line. Moving on to Carolina and New Orleans, kind of back-to-back here. I have both Georgia pass rushers. Carolina's going with Jalen Walker. He is just great athletic tools overall. He had 6.5 sacks this season to go with 2 turnovers. Georgia had him in a bit of an off-the-ball linebacker role. I think when he goes to the NFL, stick to just pass rushing. Have him focus there and develop and grow there. I think his potential can skyrocket, and you'll see he can be a double-digit sack guy for Carolina. New Orleans. This was the pick I kind of debated putting Shedeur in, but I went with Mikael Williams. Again, can't go wrong with a pass rusher, and these Georgia guys, they always have been producing the last few years. Mikael Williams, 6.5 sacks. Explosive bursts on the line. He needs to be a bit better with his hands. He kind of just throws them at him. And obviously he had injuries this year. And then finally rounding out the top 10, Ashton Genty. What is there to be said about him? He is amazing. 2,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 yards per carry. He's a great running back. The Bears need a running back. It's a good pick here.
Yeah, I mean, I personally maybe have a couple gripes with this list. Obviously, there's a lot of ways that the rounding out the top 10 can go. Anything that you wanted to point out before I go?
Yeah, I think Carolina getting Jalen Walker would be a really good pick. I mean, I know obviously they're kind of developing their offense now. They got Bryce Young kind of playing a little bit better. And then some of the receivers are developing as well. But I think defensively, if you can find your main franchise guy from the defensive spot in this year's draft, I think that'll be very huge for them for years to come.
Thoughts?
Absolutely. I think Tedero McMillan is the wide receiver 1 in the draft, not Travis Hunter, even if he were to play wide receiver. I think there's no debating that. He is just an absolute beast, and so are some of the other guys on this list.
And finally, I just want to round it out by saying Ashton Genty, although he had such a great season and was one of the best running backs we've ever seen in college, I don't know that I can support taking a running back with a top 10 overall pick, but I'll save any other thoughts that I have for our draft show, which is coming up very soon. But next, we want to get into our NBA awards, so we'll do that right after this.
Hello. So I guess the crew's getting ready for the next segment on one of our amazing shows. I'm Nick Cohen, host of season 20 of Hitting the Field, and let me tell you about those amazing shows. On behalf of HTF, we hope you're enjoying today's content, but I'm here to tell you about everything else we offer here at the network. Mondays at 4, HTF Bets goes live for season 10 with 3 gamblers that, although it may not always seem like it, are here to help us all earn a little bit of extra money while we watch sports. Diego Ortiz, Tyler Brownrigg, and Andrew Gregg's ball knowledge and fun personalities make this show a fan favorite. On Tuesdays, you all loved it, so we brought it back for season 2. It's Girls Got Game, hosted by Frankie Noble, a show blending women in sports, the biggest sports news stories, and creative segments that make for a fun and engaging show. Next is everyone's favorite sports podcast, The Combine, hosted by who other than Ty Patton, an easygoing, conversational, and technical podcast dropping Wednesdays, also on Spotify at The Combine. Then tune in Thursdays at noon for the network's main show, Season 20 of Hitting the Field, hosted by me. Here, we'll cover any sport, any topic, any story, no matter how obscure. We love some football, basketball, hockey, F1. We also cover baseball, soccer, and we even have to show the UFC love sometimes. Penultimately, TGIF, because Friday is nighttime, hosted by Kathleen Moore and Matthew Bracker. Season 8 of Nighttime is where you'll turn to for all things March Madness, UCF sports, and other collegiate events. We're ending with something brand new. HTFN has never had 6 shows running at once. Also filmed in our new podcast studio is HTFC, hosted by Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon. Football, or soccer in America, is the most popular sport in the world. Across multiple leagues and cups, soccer is a year-round sport, and HTFC is your news source to stay updated. Also on Spotify, by the way, at HTFC. Outside of our 6-show roster, be sure to tune in to our other content, such as the Studio Days vlog, run by our vlog squad of Brianna St. Jean, Michaela Croker, Ashley Rowe, and Ben Huber. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram, Facebook, and X to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe right here on YouTube, leave a like and comment. And with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I'm Nick Cohen. Thank you for your continued support, and back to your regularly scheduled programming.
And we welcome back Mel Kiper III to the table. How's it going, Tyler? How does it feel to be back in your rightful place
It's nice
here
to
at
be
the table?
sitting again. I don't, standing hurts.
I will say those segments where you go 12 minutes straight, just standing at the screen over there, it doesn't feel the greatest. We all know the feeling. How any thoughts on it?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna get back into our NBA awards. Obviously, we've made two separate predictions for this. Our predictions changed from one to the other. Obviously, we got a new host in the middle of one of those. Yeah. So I actually want to start with Tyler. Obviously, your pick has aged probably one of the poorest out of the three of us. So you can go.
It's been pretty hectic. All right, at the start, going all the way back to last season, I picked Jalen Johnson to win the Most Improved Player award, and then it went to Norman Powell, and then that sucked. And now the current favorite to win the Most Improved Player award is Dyson Daniels at minus 7,000 odds. He has been having a stellar season. I just picked the wrong Hawk. I picked the wrong Hawk player. Everyone was like, oh, Jalen Johnson's great. And then Dyson Daniels out of nowhere is coming in and leading the NBA in steals. He is averaging he is averaging 3 steals per game. He was a bit over 3 steals like a week ago, but now it's back to like rounded out at an even 3. But he leads the league in total steals as well. He is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He has been an outstanding addition to the Hawks ever since he got there from New Orleans. He's also a very quality scorer, 14.5 at just below 50% efficiency overall. Very good. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, just over 4 assists. Dyson Daniels has been having an outstanding year, and he's just an elite two-way player for the Hawks.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair to you, Dyson Daniels probably wasn't even on this list when we were first making them at the beginning of the season.
No.
Things have changed a lot. It's always hard to say, like, for awards like that, maybe like 6th man of the year, it's kind of just hard to guess who's going to be. It really is just more of a guessing game. And like for a future like that, it's always hard to kind of assess what's going to happen. I mean, who would have seen it coming at the beginning of the year? But I mean, you have the team right at least.
Yeah, so I'll have that. I have the team. I was about half right, basically. I think we can round that too.
Somebody who was even closer to half right, maybe 99% accurate before the injury. Obviously, Wemby goes down, and this pick is completely wrecked because of it. But we welcome in NBA expert Augie Arrington to talk about his pick, which is Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. But yeah, you said it. Wemby wasn't even close, honestly. Obviously, Wemby was favored to start. There was a reason he was favored. Guy averaged almost 4 blocks a game and a steal. There's a reason he was favored, but now obviously his blood clot, he won't reach the minimum game requirement played. So the next guy in line, Draymond Green, 8-time All-Defensive Player of the Year. He currently sits at minus 340 odds. Now there's a big drop off after Wemby, with Lou Dort and Evan Mobley also as 2 and 3. They're all and Draymond all kind of averaging around the same numbers. About 1 steal and a block a game apiece. Now look, Draymond Green's made his career at being a defensive stopper. Guy guards 1 through 5. One of the only people I've ever seen stop Giannis dead in his tracks in the paint. Look, he's an elite defender. There's no denying that, and he's plenty deserving to win this award. It's just unfortunate for me that there's no Wemby, so my pick isn't right.
Yeah, I feel for literally anybody who had that future and put money on it, because Wemby was the prohibited favorite. I think that if you're going into any season for the rest of maybe his career, I don't see why he wouldn't win it, barring injury. Obviously, knock on wood, and he's dealing with stuff right now, which is super unfortunate. But I mean, if you're 7'4", listed at 7'4", like people like has a crazy wingspan, I think that it's pretty obvious that with the way he's playing, he is the best defensive player in all of basketball right now. Obviously, we had a stretch where it was Rudy Gobert, and before that, it was Draymond Green, and he might reclaim that title now. But if you're going into Defensive Player of the Year from here on out, I think Wembanyama is going to be like almost a heavy fight.
And you know, this is kind of like the second year in a row there's been some controversy around Wemby not getting DPOY. First, his rookie year, obviously Gobert won it over him, and people were like, well, obviously all of Wemby's stats were better, but Gobert's team was better overall defensively was the argument. And now this year, it's the games requirement. 46 games, that's how many he played this season. So a bit over half of the total. I feel like he is just so. This is why the rule. This is where it comes into now, where you have like maybe there should be exceptions, or maybe this rule does suck, the 65 minimum, because Wemby still, despite only playing 46, is leagues better than everyone. He still has more blocks. He has the most blocks in the league still, I believe. So it's just it really sucks for him. I feel like Because he was supposed to get it this year. He really was.
He was, and it's super unfortunate the way he went out. Obviously, the injuries and the blood clots kept him out for the rest of the season. But we went from 50% to 99% accurate, and now 100% accurate. Oh, yeah. In your first award prediction, you had the correct pick. It seems like. Who was your pick for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, so previously my pick for Rookie of the Year was Stephon Castle when it was at plus 330. Now, if you look today, the current favorite to win Rookie of the Year is Stephon Castle, and it sits at minus 1,400. Obviously, with Wemby's injury, he's been able to step it up a little bit, take a little bit more of the load for the San Antonio Spurs. He's averaging 17 points, 5 boards, 4 assists since the All-Star break. And he's been shown to be a really good, solid defender at the 1 as well. He's averaging 1 steal a game this season. And if you really look at the Spurs team, they have so much upside with him playing this well. They get De'Aaron Fox back next year, and they get Wemby back next year. Defensively, they have a lot of upside. I mean, Fox is a great perimeter defender himself. And then we just talked about Wembanyama being how great a great shot blocker he is. I think that once they kind of get all their pieces back, they add somebody in the draft next year, maybe more shooters, they could really turn it around here. And really Stephon Castle himself, I mean, he's playing more of like his play style is kind of like a veteran. He takes the game really slowly. He kind of lets everything, kind of come to him. He can dish the ball as well. So yeah, that was my pick, and I mean, look out for the Spurs. I think they have a bright future. I really do.
This will be the second year in a row they have the Rookie of the Year. They have another lottery pick this year.
Yeah.
So they're just building such a great young team.
Yeah. And then moving on from that, obviously those two picks are correlated. Wemby goes down, and then Stephon Castle, we see a little bit of an uptick in his production. But the MVP, obviously the star award in all of NBA basketball. My original pick was Luka Doncic at the beginning of the season. He was at maybe plus 1,200. Then I moved off into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at minus 290. And at that point, he had almost already wrapped it up. And he currently sits at minus 2,000, which is crazy odds. But I wanted to make the case for Nikola Jokic just really quickly. In the month of March, Nikola Jokic averaged 30 points a game, 13 rebounds, and nearly a triple-double with 9 assists a game. He had one of the greatest Marches we've ever seen. And then kicking it off into April, his first game of April, he had a 60-point triple-double, the likes of what we've never seen. He also had a 40-point triple-double just the other night. He's doing it. He's putting up crazy stats throughout every single game that he plays in, and it's kind of insane that because of voter fatigue, because Shai had such a good season, and because the Thunder were playing so well throughout the whole season, that he'll get the MVP. But I think this is one that we look back at and maybe say that we gave it to the wrong person, unfortunately.
I think the gap between them is ridiculous between the odds. It's insane to me. Jokic he's averaging a 30-point triple-double. Mm-hmm. He's shooting 57, 41, and 80. Yep. It's insane how good he is. He is carrying this team on the back of this Nuggets team, so it is frustrating for Jokic.
100%. I mean, voter fatigue is definitely part of it. Any final thoughts on the MVP?
No, yeah, I think with all this chatter about Jokic being playing so well, I think that there might be a chance where the odds kind of shift, and I think they could go in his favor.
100%. But that is all the time we have for any awards discussion. Obviously, we have Tyler's favorite segment, as we always do at the very end of this. Tyler, maybe preview it. Did you get a win? It's actually okay.
I was close.
We'll do that right after this
Real
segment.
Close.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who? Marcus?
You good? I'd give them one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There, we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
And we are back, obviously. Tyler, Tell them how you did last week. What was the issue this week? Why did you
It was, all right, 0-8. I'm staring down the barrel of being the worst ever, right? If I lose this week, it's officially over. And last week, right, the game was happening as the segment was going. But the Phillies rallied. They got 6 runs. Bryce Harper got his hit. They won the game. The Rockies did get 1. I was 2 runs short of hitting. If I gotten 2 more runs, I would have hit. I was 2 for 3. It's very tragic, but this is it. This is my final chance.
As we always do, we'll mention the records. I'm currently 1-7. Diego is 2-6. We both haven't hit in a while as well, but obviously the record, staring down the barrel of the record, obviously Tyler we have over here. Diego, start us off as you usually do.
Yeah, so for my pick this week, I'm looking at the Dodgers at Nationals today. Dustin May pitching for the Dodgers, Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals. I got the Dodgers money line right now sitting at -170. The Nationals over 3.5 runs at +105, and over 8 runs in the game in total. Look, I think the Nationals, they've been starting to pick it up offensively a little bit. Nathaniel Lowe's been playing really well. Keibert Ruiz has had a good start to the year. Alex Call, the utility player, coming off the bench. He's batting like .500 right now. So, maybe they kind of get their, they keep it close a little bit, but put up some runs. But I think Mackenzie Gore, usually he kind of dips off a little bit after the 4th or 5th inning. And this Dodgers lineup is obviously, unheard of. So, I think the Dodgers will win, but maybe a high-scoring game for sure.
Yeah, am I wrong in saying that you're a Nationals fan?
All right, bro. I mean, yeah.
I didn't completely know.
Are you gonna bet against the Dodgers?
No. I know it. I would never advise anyone to put their money on the opposite side of whoever the Dodgers are playing. But I think that's a little bit funny. You understand what you're going up against, and the Dodgers are just such a great team. Yeah, I mean, don't we all? Tyler, we're starting to feel your pain a little bit, Tyler. I only have 1 win. Diego only has 2. It feels it's rough.
It is.
It's rough.
It does suck.
Yeah, it does. But today I get my win. We have 76ers. My bet comes in the 76ers versus the Heat game. I think that the 76ers are a terrible team. Don't get me wrong, but I have the 76ers plus 17 points. If they can't cover this spread, there's just something wrong in general with this team. I mean, they don't have the guys to do it, really.
They don't have any of the guys. Their big 3 is out.
Their big 3 is out. Yabusele is also out. So it's definitely going to be a tough cover, but because of that, I also have the under 215 points. I just can't see a world where either of these teams chalk up to 215 total points. And then because of the fact that obviously Embiid has been out for such a long period of time, the centers are essentially unheard of. I think that Khalil Ware can have a good game. He's had a double-double in 6 of his last 11 games, and there is essentially no center on the Miami Heat or on the 76ers team. So if he can just grab a couple boards, get a couple points, I think that will be okay, and we can hit for this week's Surefire Pick of the Week.
I think it is a very solid bet all around with your pick, because I think the Sixers will cover that 17 spread just because they'll both be so low scoring, the gap won't be that big.
Yeah, like the Heat have obviously been on a hot streak as of recently, but a 17-point spread just feels a little bit too big for almost any team in the NBA, and especially for a 9th seed. I like the Heat. I'm a Heat fan, but I just can't take them to win by 18 points. At least personally, thoughts?
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, they're playing really well.
They are playing really well, but look, watch this, right? My best case scenario, they're up by 20, and then one random on the Sixers hits a 3, and then we at least
And there it is. We're good.
There we go.
There.
So, Tyler.
Yes, this is it. The moment of truth, my final Hail Mary. I'm going with Orioles at Diamondbacks later today. I have the Diamondbacks money line, which is sitting at -125. The Orioles have gotten a bit of a slow start off, and the Diamondbacks still a solid team. Zach Gallen, their ace, is pitching today for the D-backs, which is a big reason for my choice. And then going further on that, I have an alternate line with under 10.5 total runs sitting at -231. I'm not going to have what happened last time. We're moving the goalpost further, and we're just picking the under. Just keep it safe so I can get this win. And then finally, Jackson Holliday. He has, I believe, 10 or 11 hits right now on the season. He's leading the Orioles. I have him getting a hit at -130 on Zach Gallen. It's been a great year so far for him to start it off. Again, like I said, leading the Orioles in hits. And my mentality last week was, who's their star player? Bryce Harper, he'll get a hit. Jackson Holliday is one of their best players, and he's leading the team in hits, so we'll go with him this week for the Orioles. This is my final chance. There will be no surefire pick next week. It'll either be me celebrating the 1 win and staying tied with Andrew, or it's over for me.
Well, Unfortunately for HTF Bets fans and Tyler fans, it is over. I'm going to preview next week a little bit early. He's not going to get a win. We'll see you next week at 4 p.m. on the network.